Hey guys, it's Carrie the Paper Monkey. Y'all want to make some of these with me? This is fabric tags. So I was sitting here and I'm going to do a mass make, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how I do this. And I hope it's helpful. So let's get started. Now, I'm not going to show you we're not going to do the entire process together. I've pre-made some things because I'll show you here. Let's see. This is a vintage pillowcase that I just found this past week. Isn't it cute? I love it. What I do, I'll explain it to you because this part is fairly simple, but it took a little time, okay? I take a file folder or a piece of cardstock. I'm going to show you both. This is a file folder. You can see how it bends right there in the middle. All I do is I cut off of the file folder the edge. So I cut this piece starting right here all the way down both sides. So it becomes a square, right? Square on both sides. I just cut this off. Now I save these pieces to use for belly bands. We'll do that in another video. Anyway, I get this. Now, these file folders, I will tell you, I love these file folders. They were throwing them out at a place that I was working, and the inside of the file folder was this graph, right? Ideal for what we're fixing to do. I loved them so much, I wanted to buy a whole new box of them until I saw how much they were, and then I was like, no, I'm not buying that. They were pretty pricey. So regular file folder, of course, doesn't have this, but you can still do it with regular file folder, okay? Now, I then glued the piece of fabric to the other side of the file folder. All right? Okay. What glue did I use? I used Scotch Create. I'm sure you can use other glues. I'm just telling you, this is what I used. I did the whole thing. I then took my Fabri-Tac and I only beaded like a small line all the way around the perimeter of this file folder. And that was because, as we all know, Fabri-Tac is specifically designed to adhere fabric to paper. So I wanted to ensure that around the edges would have that adhesive. Okay, so that's why I did that. Now, I then flipped it over, and because I have this graph line, it really helps this part of the process. I took an existing tag. I just happen to have these. I like this shape. I like this length, this size. This is, going to work for this project. And all I did was trace. Now, you see how, let me see if my camera's going to let me zoom you in. You see how I'm off a little bit right here? I've got a little, not even a quarter of an inch to the next line. I'm just going to bump it over, and I'm going to jump on that line right there. That's it. It's going to be okay if it's not exactly the same size as this tag. This is just a way. Now, I didn't do the ears here. I wasn't worried about that because, in fact, these ears, I like an angle to be a little bit more defined, so I use my little card here template to do my little dog ears. I then took it and I'm going to match it up here, okay? And then I'm going to cut, and we'll do that together, but I'll fast forward through this part so you'll see I'll do the whole thing, and then you'll also see how I get this smaller shape. So we'll fast forward. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut, and then we'll draw out our templates on this side. But let me go ahead and cut first. I'm just using my Timmy Holtz scissors. I don't use my fabric scissors for this because I don't have fabric scissors that are dedicated to cut paper also. I only use my good fabric scissors on fabric because in my household growing up, if you use the fabric scissors for anything other than fabric, then my mama was calling the police because somebody was fixing to be in the jail. Somebody was going to jail. And see how on, of course, see these lines? They are so great for this part of the project. But again, you can do it with regular, absolutely do it with regular file folder. Now, see this right here? This has got the bend in it. I may go ahead and cut on that line. In fact, I think I am. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut on that line. But you know what? I'm not throwing this piece away. I'm not going to throw this piece away because I'm going to use it for something. I will use it for something. But then you just get a skinny tag, right? Let's see. 2 1/4 inches. That's good. I think that is going to be all right. Nothing, I mean, I know it looks like this is, like I'm showing you precise measurements and all that, but you really don't have to do anything this precise. You can freehand any of this. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Okay. All right. So there we have, look, we got 2 skinny tags and we got that. Now, let's go to this side. So again, being mindful that you've got that crease right there, because I kind of forgot about it actually. That was kind of a little bit of a mistake, but I mean, there's really no mistakes. Not really. Okay. So if I do this and I do this, then I'm going to have a skinny right there. Or I could do this. Something I could have a pocket or a skinny right here. I think I'm going to do this way because then they're shorter. I like that. Okay, we'll do it. We'll just do it like this. Yeah. And again, I'm just going to come over to this side. And I'm not going to have to cut across the top on this one. But you do it however, you know, whatever size you want your tags to be. It's fine. And then we'll just make sure and cut right there. I'll just cut on that line. It'll be fine, right? Yep. We'll just cut on that line. Then we'll go do the same thing over here. And go over a little bit. Catch that line. Okay, fast forward mode activated. And there we have some more tags. So, I mean, out of that file folder, we got 1, hold on, my hands are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tags. Okay, now here's the part that I know some of you may not have a sewing machine, but I do stitch around my fabric tags. I'm blessed to have Samuel L. Jackson, even though he makes me curse a lot. For those of you who are new, I'll put up a little graphic that'll explain who Samuel L. is, but it's my sewing machine. I've always done that. But before I go and sew, I am going to use this little, it's a gift card. Some people don't know, and I didn't know this when I first started either. I can't remember who I saw do this, but a lot of people in the community do this. I just take, in fact, I have a few different ones that I've kept over the years, and I just use this as my template to make my tag cuts. Yeah, and that's it. That's how I do that. So let me go sew around these, and I'll come back. Let me show you. I changed thread color in this one too. It's very faint though. You can barely see it, but I changed to yellow. Yeah. In the back, I guess you can see it better. But it's just a simple stitch, most of them, except for this one. I tried one of the decorative stitches, and again, I guess sorry, it was blurry. there's just that leaf pattern stitch on a lot of machines today. So I tried that here, but it would be better like if I would use like a darker color, like a dark green or whatever, but I wanted to try the yellow. Anyway, so that is my stash of these, okay, out of a file folder. But remember, regular file folder, and we have some over here too. If we have time, we'll do it. But I want to show you, I definitely want to show you on cardstock, regular cardstock, how to do this. This is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, right? That's all this is. That's all this is. And I'm trying to remember how I cut it down. I can't remember, but we'll start like this. You're going to do the same concept, same exact concept. Did I do it this way though? 1, 2, and a little one. Let me look at the fabric. Maybe that'll help me. Yeah, that's how I did it. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to draw our little template again. Here, we don't have those lines, and that's okay. Just kind of follow, trace the lines. And let me tell you something. Even when I do this, it still does not, it don't come out straight. It does not. It still do not come out straight. I make this line here, not necessarily because I want this, but I do. I keep it, but just so that I will have a tracing line all the way down. That's why I do this. Okay, fast forward mode. Okay, this is what you're left with. But again, these pieces, like this piece right here especially, this is going to become a belly band. Oh, absolutely. This will be decorated up and it will definitely become a belly band. I have a space, a little drawer in my filing cabinet. It's a small, short drawer at the very top of my filing cabinet. I'm going to put these in here, and whenever I get ready, I can decorate it, you know, for the specific journal that I'm looking at. These little pieces, I'm not sure, they could become page edges very easily, but again, I mean, I think I'm not going to decorate them. I would embellish them with buttons, with chipboard pieces. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, with sparklies, you know, the little sparkle dots that we have sometimes. Those kind of things. I would keep these definitely. So what I might do, I know what I have. I have an empty little drawer that's very narrow. I'm going to keep those in here because, you know, I just organized my whole shed. If y'all haven't seen that video, I did a shed tour and everything. My husband added me on, my honey, he added me on 36 square feet to Shednanigans, and it basically became a great storage area. So I have some little drawers in there. I can put those pieces in there. And I'm telling myself that more than I'm telling y'all that, so I don't forget what where I said I was going to put them. Okay, I'm going to go sew these. I'll be right back. We are back. I'm sure, now I have 6 tags here, but I didn't get 6 tags out of that one piece of cardstock. I actually got 3 tags and a couple of little strips, a couple of little strips. Anyway, I had already pre-made some, but I wanted to show you the difference in thread. So you see here, see what I do? This is why I probably shouldn't use dark thread. But for those of y'all who may not know, like me, the darker the thread, the more pronounced the image is going to be, right? The visual is going to be. So when you make a mistake like that, not a mistake, but when you miss a stitch, it's going to show. I don't think it's that big a deal. I ain't worried about it. Because ultimately, if I wanted to, I could put a little ball pin here. I could put a little, you can cover it up is what I'm saying. So I wouldn't fret over that too much. Here is the cream colored thread, which is really came out good. Came out real good. I mean, you know, Samuel L. Jackson boogers things up a little bit, but he did He did fairly good on this. Here's some with a little purple fabric that I had. And again, you kind of see there. Same concept. I do try, there was one, yeah, like right here. See how the fabric overlapped here? I go around and I'll trim that off because, just because when you go to, if you put this in a pocket, I don't want this to catch and it's going to separate your tag from, your fabric from your paper, from your, cardstock. So that's kind of why I just make sure they're all trimmed up. Now I did one. Where is that one? I did do it with, oh, here. Yeah, like see how I cut this with the, see how I cut this with the pinking shears? I didn't do it again. I think I did it on one, yep, I did. So I did these two. I just don't know if I would do this again. Again, just because this edge can kind of tend to catch on your paper, and I don't know if I don't want to take the chance that it rips something like a pocket or something going in and out of it, if that's how you use it. So I would probably stay with just a smooth, hopefully a straighter edge than that, but straight edge. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that stuff. And again, I'm just gonna cut this fabric off. But you see, you get the concept. It's not that it's not hard. Here's another, another piece of, this is Swiss dot. I can't wait to do these. My friend Meg sent me this and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's nothing's hard about it, but it is a process when you start to do fabric tags. Now, if you don't stitch around them, my recommendation is I would definitely, instead of using this to put it down, I would use my Fabri-Tac all over, but I would just smooth it out, whether with a little brush or my fingertips or whatever. I would make the surface as smooth as possible with that Fabri-Tac and then lay my fabric on it, because then it's not going to come up. That Fabri-Tac is made specifically for that, to adhere paper to fabric. So if you're, looking for that, that's probably what I would do. Yeah. Anyway, that is the video today. Thank you guys so much for coming along. I'm going to continue to play with these and build my stash of fabric tags. Oh, before I go, let me say this too. Yes, you can put an eyelet. I think you're going to have that We Are Memory Keepers tool, right? This thing to be able to cut through the fabric and the paper. I mean, maybe it would. I don't want to chance it though, because I don't want to mess my little thing up. I don't think this is strong enough or sharp enough to go through this. It may be, but I would rather do this little thing right here. And then a metal, yeah, you can do an eyelet. You can. I'm just not going to. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave them like this, really and truly. I may dress them up with some lace or do some, like I said, when there's a specific project that this will go with, I might do it then. But yeah, no, I think they'll stay like this. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank y'all so very much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember what I always say. I do hope that whatever it is you get to do today or in the next few days, it is at least as much fun as I'm having building my stash of fabric tags. Thanks, and we'll chat soon. Bye.